Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of TVG Talk. My name is Paco Treviño, and today I am joined by Lauro Chapa.
Hey guys.
And today we'll be talking about the new Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Direct that we saw today, that was August 8th. And we'll be going through the newcomers, the stages, the new quality of life improvements that they did to the game overall. And well, why don't we jump right to it? Lauro, why don't we start where the Direct started, which is with the new Castlevania stuff that will be joining Smash. What do you think about the trailer, for starters?
Yeah, I thought the trailer was great. Before this direct, yesterday we actually got spoiled for everyone that saw the spoilers and didn't, avoid them. We got spoiled that this was going to happen, and kind of my hype went kind of down because we've been hearing about Simon Belmont for some time now, and then confirming it yesterday, I was like, okay, I mean, that doesn't make it a bad character or anything like that. I mean, he's still an awesome character, but I was like, well, I know what's happening tomorrow. There's no surprises or whatever. We're right out of the gate. Great trailer, and then with two Castlevania characters, like there's Simon and there's an echo for Simon. Like, what? What are we going to see in this trailer? So yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, I was kind of worried that instead of Simon, we were gonna get Alucard, because Alucard is also a very popular character. But
yeah, I mean, I saw people disappointed because Alucard was on Assist Trophy.
I'm the other way around. I would probably would have been sort of disappointed if it was Alucard, the one playable, simply because I feel that Alucard is almost more of a PlayStation character, whereas Simon Belmont is pretty much a Nintendo character in terms of his legacy. So I definitely feel like if someone deserves a spot in Smash, is Simon, not Alucard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's those kind of people out there who will always complain about something. Uh, but honestly, I feel that we are lucky to have quote unquote two new characters, or one and a half. I don't know how you want to see it.
Two characters.
I mean,
it's fine.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that we got Richard.
Yeah.
Or Richter, I think it's the correct pronunciation. But yeah, I mean, I love Rondo of Blood, but that's precisely it. Rondo of Blood is such an underground game. It's only available. Oh well, no, it's only available for the PC Engine, but now I'm remembering that he is playable in Dracula X. So yeah, no, he's popular here too.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that one. But yeah, I mean, I was super
and
excited.
now that Echo Fighters exists, it's not like they can complain or something. I mean, it's just an Echo Fighter, right?
On the contrary, I think that it's amazing that we got an Echo Fighter of Simon. Because it would seem to me like they would prioritize first-party Echo characters, and maybe the third-party are kind of like, we have the license for this character and this stage or whatever, and that's it. But no, they actually went the extra mile, so to speak, and gave us gave us two characters instead of one.
Yeah, and now that you mentioned that, I actually thought of that. Like, wait, if Simon is getting an Echo Fighter, everyone can get an Echo Fighter. Like, there's no limits now.
Well, there are characters that I would be hard pressed to tell you who would be their Echo.
For example, sure, but
But yeah, I mean, if a third party can do it, anyone can. I mean, there's some very popular opinions. For example, Proto Man for Mega Man, Jean for Bayonetta. I mean, I would be ending up with a list of 67 characters, right? But easily. The point is, yeah, I mean, this opens the door for so many new characters, because the first ones that we saw were super obvious, like Daisy.
Yeah.
Uh, Lucina was already in Wii U, so they were pretty obvious things. But now we have Richter, and some of the examples that we will be seeing down the line are definitely, something very fresh and new for Smash.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think about the trailer, the character trailer?
The character trailer was great. I mean, Luigi, having Luigi there, like trying to hunt some ghosts or whatever, and being super scared, and then the atmosphere felt so right, and it had really cool animations and voice work. Everything was really cool about that trailer.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I was very suspenseful with the way that they presented Simon, because once you see him in the robes, it's Simon. Like, it has to be him. Like, the question about him being Alucard was gone from my mind. But
yeah,
the question that I had now is, Simon got a very, very bad redesign in Castlevania Judgment, and I was almost praying, like, please let it be the classic 8-bit Simon from the original games, from Super Castlevania. Like, please, him. And then when we see him in his, retro glory, it was awesome to see.
Yeah, Nintendo likes to do that, right? Like, they did it with Pac-Man, and they did it with Mega Man, kind of, and they like the classic look of the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with Mega Man, I feel that they captured the original sprite animations perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Pac-Man is a different example because he...
Right. There's no way they could do the literal classic Pac-Man, although he kind of does when he does the dash attack.
Yeah, there are some movements where he does absolutely do that. But what I was getting at is that Pac-Man's redesign is used very sparsely. Like, they've used it sometimes, but even Namco uses the new one very often. The old one, very often. But yeah, I mean, and something that I did notice is that Simon had some movements from Richter, and so I thought, they made him sort of. Excuse me?
They said that in the trailer that he had Richter moves.
Yeah, but like, when I first saw the uppercut and the dash he has, I thought, it would be pretty cool, like, if we saw a skin for every Belmont or something like that.
Right.
And then they showed Richter, and I was like, it's a skin, but no, it's actually an Echo. That's even better. It was, I mean, so great. And then there's the stage. What do you think about the stage?
The stage looks really cool, and people, and myself included, don't really like hazards, but the characters that appear there, there's some pretty hype characters right there. I mean, Dracula and I don't really know the names of the characters, but they look really, really cool.
Well, the names of those characters are, for the most part, just like Dracula, they're the generic ones, or the famous ones like Frankenstein or Death. There's very few enemies in Castlevania that have quote-unquote unique names. And then we saw even a tease for Kid Dracula that was also pretty cool. So I guess that's it for the first part, the trailer. Am I missing something right now? Oh, yes, I am. The assist trophy that we were talking about in Alucard. I think it's pretty amazing that they were able to have him there as well. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, of course I like that he's there and that he's able to be in Smash, but right now there's a meme that when you see a character win an assist trophy, it's over for them for that Smash. So it's two different feelings at the same time, right?
Right. And moving on, I think that when we get to the items, we will be talking a little bit about that from some characters that were announced today, not just him. But well, why don't we move on to our next section? Maybe we talk about the other Echo characters.
Sure.
Today, correct me if I'm wrong, but we saw Dark Samus, we saw Crom, and am I missing anyone of the
Well,
Echoes?
Richter, but we already talked about him.
Right, Richter. So yeah, I mean, what do you think about the new Echo characters based on existing characters?
They're great. I mean, Crum, we got the meme last time that he would have his chance on another day, and he finally got it. I think that that was great, and if fans were asking for him, well, there you go, right? And as well as Dark Samus. I mean, Dark Samus to me looks really cool. I don't know if Dark Samus a person or is he like a clone
Dark
monster or
Samus,
something like that.
Dark Samus, the best way that I can put it, it's basically this energy that left Samus's armor. This, the Dark Echo energy from Metroid Echoes.
Yeah,
And
I just
it
asking because
turned-
I didn't know if to call him a he or a she, but anyway, she I guess looks really cool. I love how like her regular stance is just like floating, and he moves really. She moves in a really particular way, like so different than Samus, and it's in clone character still. So I really liked how they gave her a really like different details than Samus.
Yes, I totally agree with you, and that was something that I wanted to talk about. I feel that like Dark Samus shows that Echo characters can feel very differently because we've seen a lot of Echo characters that are kind of like swaps, like almost a skin, and they changed maybe one or two specials. Like with Daisy, the real difference that we saw was in her animations. Like she was more energetic, more like the classic Daisy. But Dark Samus has a different walking cycle. She's levitating and everything. So it's pretty cool to see how far they can take the Echo characters. And in fact, with Crom, I'd say that they took it also pretty far in having different specials for him.
Right.
But well, in fact, what do you say we move to Crom? What do you think about Crom?
Yeah, Crumb it's really cool. As you said, they grabbed mostly things from Roy, but they took some things from Mike, and I think that's really smart. I mean, Echo Fighters are based on another character, but there's so many things that they could grab from other parts of Smash. I mean, they don't necessarily have to create new things. There's tons of different moves, and if it makes more sense for that character, then I mean, go ahead. Combine different moves, pick and choose, and make what's better for the character.
Yes, I mean, yeah, like you said, pick what's best for the character. Even if, like, maybe at one point we will have an Echo character with moves from like 5 characters. It doesn't matter as long as they acknowledge it's an Echo fighter and and everything. So yeah, I mean, they've been very committed to, even though they are having apparently a very decent amount of Echo characters on the side and everywhere, they're like, no, these are not the same as regular characters. For example, what Sakurai said, kind of going into the quality of life stuff, you can put the same character, like the character and his Echo, in the same spot on the roster.
That was really weird.
It was kind of weird, but at the same time, I really understand the thinking process where, they're not really unique. They have a lot of uniqueness to them, visually and everything, but they are not quite there, and I like that they acknowledge it.
Sure, but I mean, we have like what 67 characters. I mean, we're not gonna say like, oh, you have 10 Echoes, it's not fair or whatever. I mean, just put them in the roster. It's so weird to say like, no, but these are not really characters. Like, don't get mad. You can put them in the same place of the roster. I really didn't like that much.
Well, I didn't like that they were kind of permissive, but I have seen people like all the way through Smash we use Life that they were like, oh, I mean, Lucina is just a Marth clone, and like, especially talking about the three characters like Dr. Mario, Lucina, and Dark Pit, that they were
Yeah.
their different spot and everything. A lot of people took that as a sign of, oh, they're not real characters, it's cheap or whatever. And they suddenly ignore that there's like 60 characters in that game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally see why they do such a distinction, because there's the kind of people or the kind of fan out there that just ignores all the effort put into everything else. And even
Yeah.
then, I mean, Echo characters are animated and are voice acted and everything. So
Completely.
there's absolutely a spot for them here, I'd say. What do you say we move on to the quality of life stuff?
Yeah.
We actually have a ton to talk about, so maybe we'll go back and forth between what we each remember. So why don't we start with you? What stuck out with you about the quality of life?
Um, the new menu looks really cool. One of the complaints of Smash Wii U is that it had a terrible menu layout, and they seem to have noticed that and made it a much better one. And I think that's really nice of them to listen to the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, I think that Smash we use menus don't look bad, but they navigate pretty bad because of how they're distributed.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that they were too preoccupied with looking cool, but not functioning well. And here I feel, it's more like a panel-based menu. So yeah, I think that it will be much, much better.
Yeah.
Something that I personally really, really liked was the amount of toggles that we have now.
Yeah.
In terms of the Omega, the Battlefield, which we already knew, but we now have, all of the music from that series. If you're playing a stage, all
Yeah.
the music from that series will be available to you.
That's great.
So that's crazy. Also, the toggling of the hazards. Toggling of the smash ball or smash meter, all of that
Yeah.
stuff. It's just, all the toggles, all the options that we have in general. I think that that's what stuck with me, because it really talks about, trying to I mean, it's the same thing with fighters, that they are trying to make everyone have, oh, I like this about the game. You
Yeah.
know, uh, I mean, I really like Castlevania, and for me, Simon Belmont was a character that was kind of on the pipe dream level, where I didn't really think that he was gonna make it in, but it
Yeah.
would have been awesome, and it finally happened, and it's really hype to see him.
Yeah. It really is.
And so yeah, what other quality of life stuff have
Yeah.
you?
I mean, you were mentioning the toggles. There's this toggle that we didn't know what it is. It seems to be a rage toggle, which would be great if you ask me, because it had a symbol similar to the one of rage. So people are thinking that there is this. But a more important one to me is that you can save your settings, right? So in Wii U, you always start it and it's on time. So now you can save up, to be in stocks and whichever time you like, or all those toggles can be saved, and you turn on the switch, turn on Smash, and there's that.
Yeah, I never understood, because with the custom characters and with the colors, it would remember the last one that you used. I remember, especially on 3DS, that I would use whatever skin of a character, and then I would, move the cursor through the roster, and I would notice that that character had that last skin that I used. And I always thought, why does it remember that? And it doesn't remember the settings. which are more time consuming. It was always something that stuck out for me. And I absolutely agree with you. I mean, the rage part, I'm not as a competitive guy as you are. So to me, it's just cool that you have the option. But whether will I take rage away or leave it in, I don't know, honestly. Overall, the more options, the better, which seems to be our philosophy over at Sora Limited. What else? Before we get into stages and items, the new option of making sort of transporting between stages is something really crazy. And I wonder what the limit or parameters are to that. Like, how does it decide what stage it will turn into? Do certain stages transform only into certain stages, or like sort of compatible stages? I don't know. What do you think about that feature?
Yeah, I really like the new morphing stages. Because I thought when they first mentioned it, I thought it was going to be kind of the traveling stages, like in Castle Siege, where when you change of parts of that stage, the stage turns into like a plain stage where you kind of have a part of a walk-off stage. So I was like, I really don't like that. But when they showed it, it kind of was like almost instant. Like there's almost a part where you are in both stages and then the old one disappears. So I thought that they managed to do it really well. And yeah, it's a pretty cool addition. I will never have thought of that. There's the new mode of the crew battles with different characters that everyone was asking for. But this thing of the stage changing, I've never heard of it, and it's really smart.
Yeah, I think that not to praise too much PlayStation All Stars, but they did have something like that where you would have kind of traveling stages, but the traveling stages would drop you off in different IPs. Like you would be, I don't know, at a Killzone stage, and then you would be at, I don't know, Jack and Daxter, so to speak. I don't think that stage actually exists, but like sort of that concept. So when I saw that, I reminisced of that, but at the same time, Smash is doing it so much more fluid and so crazy because they're not one stage that travels; they're completely different stages.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's crazy, and like you said, I wouldn't have thought of something like that. It just shows that they're not only, packing it with stuff that we already had and knew about. They are doing completely new stuff as well. Like you were saying, the mode where you have like a different stocks with different characters. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And also their take on Iron Man is also pretty awesome.
Ah, right. Yeah. It's really cool. I mean, those are games that you used to play with your friends when you like already played tons and tons of Smash, and you say, okay, let's mix it up, and now they're officially in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be crazy. The longevity of this game is going to be off the hook. I mean,
Definitely.
it's a game that I'll probably boot up for the rest of my life, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, I still boot up every Smash every now and then, but what I mean is that I could be doing completely different things all the time.
Yeah.
Um,
And they're definitely gonna support this game much longer than the Wii U one.
yeah, it's very likely because it's coming off, well, a year and a half, almost 2 years after the release of the Switch. It's pretty fresh still, and the Switch is doing so much better than the Wii U, so that's going to
Right.
definitely be a factor in all of this.
Yeah.
And so they also had a taste of the potential of releasing DLC, and I think that they'll exploit it this time even more.
Yeah.
Uh,
I want them to like go crazy with character customs like other fighting games do. Like I just want them to. I just want to give them all my money.
well, in general, I think it would be really great to have as many costumes as possible. I don't know how far they
Yeah.
would take it, having third parties and everything. Like how much they'll be able to squeeze content into them. But for the first
Yeah.
parties, I can already think, those that aren't Echo Fighters that could be, they could also be skins,
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
there's always that. But I mean, in general, even on the vanilla game, so to speak, they've gone pretty far. I mean, Mario has more
Oh yeah.
costumes than ever. Link has as well.
Uh,
I mean,
well, yeah, he has eight custom. Like they still have eight colors. Everyone.
yeah, but what I mean is that they they have really distanced themselves from the colors, and now it's like Mario's wedding costume and Mario's Super Mario Maker costume. Not just the colors, but the
Right. Right. Right.
entire
Right. Right.
thing. That's what I try
Sure. I
to
mean,
say.
but the thing that I want really is that Mario has that wedding costume, and that costume has eight colors. Like, I don't just want them to add like more colors or replace the colors. I want them like really to be a whole new custom with a whole new set of colors.
Right, like Street Fighter or Everyday Fighting Game.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, sure, why not? DLC.
Yeah,
The sky is the limit. Um,
it is.
and I was gonna say something, but it flew past me.
About the DLC or the
All
customs
right,
or
the DLC. So it's crazy to me because this game is going to launch probably with somewhere along the lines of 75 to 80 characters, including echo characters. So, like, to me, it's going to be like, if this game has a long lifespan of DLC, Smash Wii U had like 7 DLC characters. This game would
Yeah.
probably have like double that or something like that. So,
that would be great.
yeah, it's just like, thinking of making all of this is almost like, it's almost breathtaking. Thinking of all the effort put into all of this. But well,
Yeah.
what do you say we move on to stages?
Yeah.
So we had a number confirmed, but I'm not sure if it's the final number. It's 103. Well, the 100 are all the unique stages, and the 3 are Battlefield, Big Battlefield, and Final Destination, which
Yeah.
is by a very very big margin the biggest selection of stages that we've seen in Smash history. And we
Yeah.
have games, I mean, we have all games represented here alongside a couple new stages, just 4 so far. But Lauro, I'd like to pass the question off to you. What do you think about the stage selection so far?
Yeah. Well, first off, I think that the 103 number is a lie, because we saw another stage right there. It was the Rathalos stage, unless that's another mode, like a adventure mode or something. But there's another stage right there. And yeah, I mean, it's incredible how much they showed that graphic that had all the stages of the past games, like how many they had. Like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was something like 20, then 30, then 40, then 50, and now it's 100. Like, it's such a great of a difference, and to see all the stages that we haven't seen in such a long time, like Saffron City, for example, it looks really beautiful, and seeing how they still can make a new Final Destination and look completely new and different, and I think it's a really great selection of stages right here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, almost every stage that they've included, I think, was noteworthy for some reason. Like, oh, it's noteworthy because it's a legal stage in competitive Smash, or it's noteworthy because it's the first one that attempted this or that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about the stage selection, and yeah, we discovered
Hmm.
that every legal Smash stage is here, but also that are missing all of the vertical stages, the ones that would travel vertically, like the Donkey Kong stage and
Hmm.
the Ice Climber stage. Those two are
Yep.
missing, and I don't know if I'm missing another one that is like that. But yeah, I mean, it was interesting because it is definitely a stage mechanic that people don't like. And not
Hmm.
seeing it here, it's kind of like, oh, maybe it's because of that, because people don't like that.
I guess Rainbow Curse moves vertically in some part,
Rainbow
like in
Curse.
this cruise,
Cruise.
like in the second part when the boat leaves the stage and you have to move
Well,
up.
yeah, but it's pretty slow and
I was just,
it's just
yeah, I
one
was
part.
just making sure we said that.
Right. No, you're absolutely right because based on our previous experience, we missed something. It's gonna be in the comments.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good that you clarify that. What else would be important to point out about the stages? Well, it's pretty cool that they are in order of appearance of each game instead of the
Yeah.
IP. It's well, we'll probably have the option given that we have options for everything.
Hmm.
But it's pretty cool because you see the evolution of stages as well. And I also really like that the N64 stages are left pretty much retro
Yeah.
because it would probably have lost some of the magic if they were to remake them entirely.
Hmm.
I don't know. Do you have anything else that you'd like to add about stages?
Yeah. Not really. I just think that 103 is not the final stage number, but if it is, I wouldn't be mad at all.
Yeah, the only thing that I would point out is that we have a very small selection of new stages.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing where I go, it's only 4 new stages, but some stages have been absent for so long that they are pretty much new because they had to make them from scratch. Unlike they
Yeah.
did
Practically.
for Brawl. Like Brawl had, pretty much exported or imported, I guess, stages from Melee. Here, it's
Hmm.
definitely not the case. They had to remake them.
Yeah.
And speaking of importing them, I do find interesting that there are a handful Wii U stages missing. I don't know, I was kind of guessing that all of them would be here. But yeah, we do have some notorious missing stages. Do you think that we might be seeing them in later updates?
I think it's highly probable. I do.
Okay, so yeah, I guess that's it for stages. I mean, how much can we emphasize that there's a whole bunch of stages in the game?
Yep.
So let's move on to items and to assist trophies, I guess. Uh, I
Hmm.
guess that the most interesting aspects here would be the Pokemon and the assists in general.
Yeah.
What do you think about the selection of assist trophies that we saw today? We got to see Zero from Mega Man, Shovel Knight, the Moon.
Hmm.
I think that Chef Kawasaki was also the first time that we saw him. Rathalos.
Right.
We saw Alucard, like we were talking about before.
Hmm.
Knuckles, etc.
Yeah. Gray Fox, Captain.
Yeah, so
Yeah. I mean, as I said before, when I see an assist trophy, to me it's like, yeah, it's great that they're in the game, but it's also a confirmation that they're not playable. So it's like, well, I mean, there goes that character, I guess. But sometimes it's the other way around because I was like, I don't want that character to be playable. So when I saw Crystal as an assist trophy, I was like, yes, she's not playable. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that they really put some new and interesting things. Like, there's some characters that are never gonna be playable, like the Moon, and
right.
that's really cool that they added, and the animation and the effect looks really cool.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it's gonna scar some childhoods, man. Honestly. So yeah, I agree with you. It's there's some characters that will definitely never be playable, like Chef Kawasaki.
yeah, you never know, man.
You never know. But Rathalos, let's guess that Rathalos it's
Yeah,
too big.
Yeah,
Rodan.
I mean,
I guess that Knuckles had a chance.
they all have a chance.
You know, I was pretty happy to see the Claptrap enemy from Donkey Kong Country. Because,
Oh yeah,
like, Smash almost ignores the first 3 Donkey Kong Country games. Like, they have very sparse
yeah.
representation of them, given how important they are to Donkey Kong. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy to see a lot of these characters. Were there any confirmed assists that you wished were playable?
Oh man, like Squid Sisters, Great Fox, Alucard, Zero, Shovel Knight. I mean, all of them pretty much. Not all of them, but yeah. Rodan, Knuckles, Bomberman.
Oh, so a good amount of them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the other way around. Like, I rationalize a lot the characters. For example, the Squid Sisters, I think that they work pretty well as an assist because I don't know, I kind of don't picture them fighting. I mean, in the games, they make you fight for them. They kind of just dance around, and that's what they do here.
I mean, we have characters like Mr. Game & Watch fighting and freaking Rob fighting. So like,
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
it's absolutely true what you're saying, but at the same time, I almost feel like the Squid Sisters fit more as an assist, because that's what they are to you. They are your assist in the games. I mean, I do wish, for example, Bomberman. That's the one to me that, like, oh man, he's missing. Um, And if we were going to see another Mega Man character, I think it would have been Zero, because Proto Man is kind of already in Mega Man's Final Smash, along with all the other Mega Mans. So Zero.
Proto Man can be an Echo.
He could be an Echo, absolutely, but I don't think he will be. Honestly. And Zero was the one that I thought maybe, but you know, now that he's confirmed an assist, is a no-go.
Rip.
Honestly, Shovel Knight to me it was not really an option because he, I mean, as a fighter, because he is an indie character, and I think that Nintendo would rather make a deal with a lot of other publishers before they go to indies. So to me, it's almost kind of surprising that he's an assist trophy, that he's there at all. Is surprising.
It is to me too. Like, I don't know if there's actually any difference between getting a license for a main character or an assist trophy, and I'm pretty surprised that they did it for Shovel Knight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he's there at all. And what I mean to say, like, it's not a monetary difference or anything, but the PR move of we have these two huge corporations kind of cooperating. I would guess that they strike different deals, and for example, the amiibo and everything. It's pretty interesting because Shovel Knight is definitely Nintendo's favorite indie character by far. But yeah, like what we're saying, I'm glad that he's there at all. Why don't we move on? Oh, well, do you have anything else that you'd like to talk about the trophy assists?
No, not really.
Okay, so what do you say we move on to the Pokemon? So we have a lot of Pokemon confirmed. We saw a lot of new faces here. I don't know, do any of the assist Pokeball Pokemon, I guess, stick out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I noticed there was a lot of Gen 7 Pokemon, which makes me think that maybe there's gonna be a playable Pokemon from that generation. and there's a lot of cool ones like Solgaleo, Lunala, and Vulpix and her Echo Fighter, and Alolan Executor is very crazy. Where you can wall cling in him. So yeah, I think that they went really creative with choosing their characters. I mean, Ditto like clones somebody and attacks, and Abra just teleports people randomly. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, the Ditto transforms, I think, into the one that sort of summoned him.
Used him.
And it's pretty funny how he's like all pink. It's pretty cool. I mean, I think that it would have been cool to see the derpy Ditto face in regular characters. But the pink one, I guess it's easier to identify, objectively speaking.
Right. Yeah, much more.
What other ones stuck out to me? Pyukumuku. To me, it's such a silly Pokemon. Honestly, one of the ugliest designs in all of Pokemon. But seeing them,
he's literally a butthole.
Yeah, like what's up with that? And he now has like this punch that comes out of it. So
yeah.
But anyway, like you were saying earlier, we definitely have a very strong presence of Alolan Pokemon in general. And like you were saying, that makes me think that we are going to see a playable Pokemon from that generation. And well, it's always been the case. The new generation always gets a lot of new Pokeball Pokemon, and accompanied by a new fighter.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else to add about the Pokemon?
Nope.
Okay, so what do you say we go to some of our closing thoughts? What would you like to add about your thoughts on the presentation or on what was announced?
Sure. I mean, you're kind of missing an announcement, which was one of the best ones. At the end of the direct, there was like a shaking first, and I was like, wait, did these guys like had an error in the direct? Like I thought someone moved the camera and made a mistake in the direct. I was like, no way, they didn't do
No,
that.
because it's pre-recorded.
Right, and yeah, that was my thinking. But then it happened again, and I was like, okay, who's coming here? And as soon as I saw Donkey Kong, I knew that it was K. Rool, and it was a great trailer too, with him looking at the TV and all the villains appearing, and then the big reveal that it was actually Dedede, like scaring them, and then that it was actually K. Rool behind him. It was really cool.
Like when you see the gag, it's extra funny because you know that something like that was going to happen, where the real one was going to be behind him. They weren't going to finish the presentation with a troll.
Right.
But yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty hype. I was honestly convinced that K. Rool was not gonna be there, against my wishes, because I do think that it's a pretty cool character that adds to the roster quite a bit, because he's a villain, and that's honestly a rarity among Smash characters.
Right.
And I also really like the profiling of villains in Smash at the beginning, like you were saying. It was pretty awesome. I honestly, I mentioned to you that I was confused. I thought that they were maybe teasing a mode at first, but no, it was something referencing K. Rool. And like you're saying, I'm sorry I forgot that one. I thought that we were done, but no, I'm really happy. And his final smash is amazing.
Yeah, it's when you lose in Donkey Kong 64, right? Or has he done that? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really great.
I think that they redesigned his tower a little bit. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it was honestly a great way to cap it off. You think that At one point, they run out of things to announce. Like, what else is gonna be in this game? You know? So it's great.
Yeah.
It's a really good time to be a Smash fan or a Nintendo fan in general.
Oh, definitely.
It's a really good time. So what would you like to close our discussion with?
Yeah, well, now that we've seen this trailer, I think that the sky's the limit, and I'm just gonna keep asking Sakurai for more and more. So I think that we're getting lots of Echo Fighters. I don't know how many more new characters we're getting, but the new characters that he added to the roster were characters that people were really wanting. K. Rool and Ridley, Daisy. So that makes me think that they're really listening to what the fans want, and I don't have an idea of who will be next. I would say Waluigi, but he's already an assist trophy, so I don't know what the fans are wanting next. But yeah, I mean, if this was it for Smash Ultimate, I'll be more than happy, but I'm pretty sure that there's much more to come.
Yes, like you're saying, if this was the end, the last presentation, honestly, you could package the game like this. I'm happy. I'm more than happy. I mean, it's a great roster, great selection of stages and everything. But since we are still a couple months away from release, this is definitely not the last that we've seen of Smash. I don't...
And they say much because there's a section in the menu that they haven't talked about and whatnot.
Exactly, yeah. I think I wouldn't know if we will see another Smash Direct, but they could cram it in there with regular Direct, or anything else. But yeah, I mean, like you're saying, the sky is the limit. Like, no company is too far out. No character is on a dead enough franchise. The sky is the limit, honestly. I think that the only exceptions, at least as of now, are Sony and Microsoft. They are the two that I don't think that they'll be touching. But
who knows?
Who knows? Yeah, who knows? Maybe Parappa the Rappa will be joining Smash.
Yeah.
You never know.
I mean, Banjo can happen,
Banjo could happen. So, what do you say we wrap things up?
Sure.
So, thank you so much for listening, you guys. This has been, of course, a crazy day, I think that we've literally been talking about Smash all day. So, please continue the conversation. We are definitely excited, to talk about Smash. As always, this is Paco Treviño, and as always, I was joined by Laura Chapa.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Until next time, and don't forget, if you'd like to see more of our discussions, you can subscribe to us and, like this video to tell us if you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time, bye-bye, guys.